Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Rhypi here. Welcome to Rhypi Talks. This episode of Rhypi Talks, we're going to talk about focusing on improvement. There's a lot we can say about this, depending on what we mean by improvement. Because in general, improvement usually means to better oneself or yourself, depending on how you view it. And sometimes it can be a business thing where we're improving the business as a whole. But sometimes it's the case that we lose sight on it because we're focused on just scraping by or just managing through everyday situations that we don't think about how can we improve ourselves. That's the reason why some companies have professional developments, or times when they're like, I would like you to get this certification, or watch these videos so you can learn more about being a better presenter. I don't know why I said that word weird. But sometimes you have to do it yourself, of improving, even if it's during your off time. And you can't improve yourself if you're not willing to make the change yourself. That's why for me, I've been doing these Rhypi Talks to improve myself, of not doubting myself, even if I'm keep doing it right now because of how many strapped ideas I have, you guys. And this was originally a strapped topic, but I feel like it's something I should talk about. And once again, it might be one that we talk about in the future as well when I keep building confidence in myself. Who knows for sure. But the important thing with improving yourself is that the more marketable, as most people say, you are, the more chances you'll have. And for me, it's the case that I'm trying to improve myself so I can switch careers. Because those of you that know me, but if you don't know me because you're just stumbling through this video, welcome in. But I am a teacher currently. I would say the past 5-ish years officially, and unofficially 4-10. Whether it's tutoring and other things in that nature. But I kind of been trying to do a career change. I've been sometimes thinking about doing stuff in the tech field and talk to people that is in the tech field of what they recommend me doing. And right now I'm currently watching a video to help me understand things a little bit better so I can decide what aspect of tech I want to do. I've been applying for recruiting-based jobs because I want to help people that way. But I keep having the issue that do I have the right skill sets for it, or do I have the experience behind me? Because I'm not a fresh graduate. And then I've thought about doing data analysis because I have my math degree, not an education degree. But once again, it's the case of me not having skills completely that they can see. And that's part of why I've been slowly trying to figure out what improvements I need for myself so I can do what I want. That I just know short term, I want to get that full-time job and figure out how I can help people more if it's a job that requires helping, like recruiting, or if I somehow am able to in the future open my business idea of doing different things with tutoring at a place where I don't have to worry about the administration, where I become the administration, but make it where it's not stressful to the tutor, or make sure, besides if the tutor told me it's okay to pay them that amount, me give them the full amount that the customer is paying, because we've seen it in many places that people get paid far less than what they're advertising that you're buying the hour for tutor. So I would like to be able to have it where they get 90% or 100% of their money that they earned, even though I know some people tell me keep half of it for the business. But at the same time, I just want it to be, if I make that business, that it's networking people to the customer or to the people and become friends, because sometimes that can happen like it has for me. And I've had it where I've scared people off because from time to time, because either that I can tell that they was wanting to keep asking me questions and they're not worried about improving themselves in that direction. And for me, it was better for me to scare them away and stuff like that. But the improvement was for me to be willing to do that, because when I was first a tutor, that I would accept any kind of tutoring, because I knew that I wanted to help people that didn't always think about that they wanted to keep asking me questions instead of trying to develop the study habits themselves. So that's why, for me, part of my tutoring regimen is trying to help them figure out how to be a better studier or how to better prepare themselves. Because at the end of the day, like I've heard in different professional developments as a tutor, that our goal is that we want them to not need us anymore. Yes, it's good when they keep asking us questions, but if they keep asking us questions, it feels like they're not learning. And that's one of those cases that you wonder about it. But yes, they can, even if we do the hard truth of being like, man, you need to do this better and stuff like that, that some of them may nowadays turn to AI, turn to the solver calculators and just do it themselves and just copy it down. But at the end of the day, when it's a test, or if you're in a career that requires you to know the math, how can you show it if the boss is frustrated that you don't know the numbers correctly? Because every now and then things can be programmed wrong and stuff like that. But that's why improvements come for yourself first, even if you can adapt things to accommodate what you lack. But at the end of the day, people may only want you for what you're able to do, and once they get what they want, push you out. Because we've seen it in a lot of businesses sometimes, that someone has the exclusive rights to something, and then because they finally let someone else have the rights, they get pushed out or brought out, and they're not allowed to talk about it sometimes. So it's like that push and pull of like you're proving yourself, but sometimes get the trap of that if you aren't wise on your improvement, it can be taken away from you in a matter of moments. I can't even say just minutes, because sometimes it literally happens in a couple of seconds sometimes. But at the end of the day, that we just have to prove our improvement and focus on it to best help ourselves. That for some of us, we may not need it as much because we're constantly improving in our jobs, but some of us need that outside perspective of what is needed. Like for me, it's the case I've been talking to different people, different YouTubers, and other people. I don't know if they want me to name them, so that's why I'm not naming them in this video. Well, but maybe in the future video they want me to name them, but I don't know for sure, so that's why I'm not naming them. But the case is that there are people that know a little bit more than you, and for the longest time, like I talked about in a previous episode, that I always felt bad about feeling like I was using someone. One, yes, still have that self-preservation about it, but we need to make sure that you say it correctly, and not just because you want to use their name because you think they're going to get the job, or stuff like that without thinking about the consequences using their name. Like for me, I'm always worried about if I became someone that they didn't like, or realized I didn't have the skill set needed, will it tarnish the other person's reputation of being whoever they are. And I know some people, when I've talked to them over this year and last year, depending on who I'm talking about, that they tell me not to worry about that because it's their decision to help. And for me, that's been still something that I struggle with sometimes, because of me wanting to prove myself, but I don't want it to be where it feels like that I'm weighing someone down because of my level. And part of the reason why some of the things that's my inner demons of what we talked about last week of it, inner struggles come into play because I'm doubting myself, or wondering if I'm making the right decision and stuff like that. But no matter what we say, there's only so much we can do. But by improving ourselves or making improvements along the way, we can make those doubts, whether it's yourself, whether it's other people, whether it's a supervisor that didn't believe in you at first, that if you keep showing initiative, or keep showing that you're willing to change how you handle things, or show that yourself being honest, or being kind, or making sure you're always respectful, even if you get talked down to, that it's about building yourself up, and sometimes about being resilient and building your defenses of when people try to attack you, you're able to counterattack by saying, this is why we should do this, not doubting yourself while the conversation's happening, even though sometimes it will happen when you first start it, because you're not quite sure. But once you get to know the situation around you, you know what to expect. That you just have to figure out what it takes for you to be successful. And for I would say 90% of us, it's about proving ourselves in some aspect, whether it's written, verbal, or combination of both. That we all have something that we can feel like that we want to improve. Some of us, it is more obvious than others. For some of us, it's something very minor that no one will see unless they're looking through it through a magnifying glass, or through the lens of you. But important thing, to say the least, is that when we're able to focus on improvement, that we can make a change for the better. That there will be some people that will disagree with this, because they they already have that cushion spot that they want, or that cushion job, or that cushion atmosphere that they're the one in charge, and that's fine. But there's some in charge that's still improving themselves because they don't want to feel like they're being overtaken, or feel like that something if something changes, it's over. Like in the tech industry, for example, that things can change in 5 years, and if you're not current with the new tech or the new programs, or now with AI, that we'll use to see it in the market that wants the new skills. And if you only know the old skills. But there are some companies that no matter what, they'll still do it the same way over and over again, even if it's ruining their company. That's why it's a good idea to be well balanced of what skills you know, whether it's considered archaic or the futuristic way of thinking, that we can overcome a lot of things, and why it's best to look at all skills and not just some skills. Because it could be that you know an archaic skill that helps you land a job, even if you don't use that archaic skill in the job, but they see the amount of effort you put into it. And likewise, that someone could see that you know a futuristic job and want you to help train everyone else around you. And why I thought about one of my positions of trying to be a training/development specialist, so I can slowly help people improve their skills. Because for me, I'm a fast learner, that I can learn things as fast as possible, and I don't know why I couldn't say learn at first. But the important thing is that we can do what we set out to do for ourselves. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Rhypi Talks, for talking about focusing on improvements. I have been Rhypi. I hope everyone has a good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching this video. See you guys next time on Rhypi Talks. Peace.